There's a metal hidden inside almost everything that has to be strong. Jet engines, rockets, gas pipelines, the magnet in an MRI machine. And one country controls about 90% of it. Not China, Brazil, from basically a single mine. And here's the strange part. It sells the stuff for almost nothing. The metal is niobium, symbol NB, number 41. You've almost certainly touched it today and never knew. Drop a tiny amount into steel, a fraction of a percent. And the steel gets 20 to 30% stronger. A few hundred grams in a whole ton. That's it. That's the trick. Lighter cars that still pass crash tests. Pipelines that hold higher pressure. Skyscrapers with less steel. About 90% of the world's niobium goes into exactly this high-strength steel. The rest does the exotic work. Superalloys in jet and rocket engines that survive brutal heat. And the superconducting coils inside almost every hospital MRI. It's the most important metal most people have never heard of. Now, the part that should stop you. Almost all of it comes from one place. Brazil produces somewhere around 90% of the world's niobium. The next biggest producer, Canada, is a rounding error next to it. Inside Brazil, most of it comes from a single company, CBMM, mining a single deposit in a town called Araxá. One company, one mine, supplying about 80% of the planet. This isn't a big exporter story. It's a near monopoly on a strategic material. The kind of concentration that in any other metal would be a headline. Here's the comparison that makes it click. You've heard for years that China controls rare earths and that the West is scrambling to break that grip. China built that position, decades of mining, processing and export control. Brazil didn't build its niobium position. It was born with it. A geological fluke in Araxá, at a scale that exists basically nowhere else. So Brazil holds in one metal the leverage China fought to build in another, and almost nobody outside the industry talks about it. Now, the part I actually want to talk about, because this is where it becomes a product lesson. Having the commodity is not the same as having the product. For decades, Brazil sold niobium the cheapest possible way, as ferroniobium, an additive that goes into somebody else's steel. The real money is made upstream from the mine. In the jet, the pipeline, the MRI, the superalloy. The mine owner keeps an additives margin. The product owner keeps a product's margin. This is the trap that catches almost every resource-rich country. You become the cheap supplier of a critical input. Instead of the owner of the chain, you have the leverage of a monopoly and you price it like gravel.